Welcome back to Players Only. I was trying to think of a way to talk about the last game. That was just a beatdown. Hey, every game can't be good. Philly just gave him the business, and you know, Isaiah talked a little bit about it. It's the kind of game a coach goes in the locker room and throws it away. But it's also the kind of game, even though the coach throws it away, the leader goes to guys like, hey, we can't, I know this, we're not going to panic, but we can't let this happen anymore with big games because, K-Mac, my thing with young teams is when do you have the chance during the season to play games that have a playoff atmosphere or you're really ticked off at someone? And those tell you a little bit more about yourself than others, even though, you know, the ship don't be sinking yet. But, you know, and when you look at the body language of and the style of play tonight, of the Sixers. I'm not going to speak for you, but knowing you like I do, I think you were pretty happy with them playing inside and out and sticking to their game plan tonight.
Yeah, they had 40 assists, which I like because that means the ball's moving, the Sixers. Then they jammed it inside and started inside and worked their way out. And the three-point line opened up because of all the penetration they had in the paint. And that's the way the game, I think, should be played. And not every team has an Embiid, of course. But when you got a horse like that, give him the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, he had 31 points on 17 shots,
yeah.
Really efficient. But it was on the bad flip side of what I saw tonight, the T-Wolves kind of gave in. I mean, the middle of the second quarter, they went like, man, we don't have it. And you were talking about something like big games. There's signature games that you have. And even if your team goes out and just fights like crazy, if you're Ryan Saunders, the coach, and you lose a tight game, you feel good, man. You feel bad right now. If you're looking at it, say, wait a minute, this is the guy kind of basically cursed us all out, Jimmy Butler. Left.
Come on. Said you need me.
Yeah, left and said,
you want me on that wall.
Exactly.
You need me on that wall.
And this is the effort that you give, man. That kind of surprised me. So they got a long way to go. Ryan's got a lot of work to do with that team. But on the flip side, getting back to the Sixers, man, if they play like this, they're a problem because there's not a lot of teams can handle that big horse on the inside. And once you establish that inside game, Simmons was driving and dunking. He ended up, like, I think, one rebound away from a triple-double or one assist away from a triple-double. And you establish that that's big. You put foul trouble on them. You've got them collapsed. You got everybody inside. Then the shooters make shots. So I like the way Philly played.
Me too, and it's more consistent that way. Like you said, it doesn't start with, hey, let's see who makes. Yeah, you see that right down. We call that an official beatdown. Giving a team the business. You can go into many ways. That 83 points was a season high in the first half. The 149 points was a season high. They just got numbers, blew them out by 20 on the boards. I mean, just some impressive numbers. K-Mac, you just said 40 assists. And tonight, we have Mr. Triple-Double himself. That's right, B. Simmons with us. Thank you so much for joining us. I mean, tonight, 7 to 10, 8 defensive rebounds. You missed the triple-double. By one assist. They should trade you. Your career is done. Why'd you miss that? But hey, you're such a joy to watch. And for our fans, especially young players at home, what is the most enjoyable part of playing in the NBA?
I think for me, getting an opportunity to get better every day. You know, there's so many games, you know, back-to-backs, and you're just on the road so much. It's like you have one bad game, and then, you know, the next night you have another game to, you know, kind of redeem yourself and try and get better. So I think just being able to play every day and do what I love every day, that's the best part for me.
You know, Ben, you guys started off and you dominated the paint. You had Joel Embiid going. You were driving in there. You guys just collapsed their entire defense and played inside out. And all those threes opened up. You guys shot the three ball very well tonight. But you know, when you guys play like that, I just think you're so hard to beat. Every once in a while, and I watch you guys a lot. I know Brett Brown, Chris Babcock's a good friend of mine, your coaches. And so I get frustrated when you guys don't play that way. When you guys just play inside out like that, totally attacking the paint at first. How do you feel about that when you play like that? And you get the sense that you got to play like that more?
Definitely. I understand what you're saying completely. I think, you know, we kind of get a rhythm. We have guys who are used to running down the floor, and sometimes we slow it down. But at times we kind of need to slow it down and make sure we're taking care of the ball and trying to get into a rhythm. But, you know, I love the way we play. You know, guys can run the floor, get open shots, transition buckets, and I think we're getting a lot better at that.
Yeah, no, I do too. And like I say, I love when you guys play like this. The other question is, you're the point guard, you get the ball in your hands a lot, you get a lot of assists. Has Joel Embiid just taken up more paint lately? It looks like when I watch him play, he's been going in and getting 2 feet in the paint and demanding the ball down low a lot more.
I tell him every time he runs down, he posts up, I'm gonna throw it to him. I think sometimes he needs a reminder of how strong he is down there and how efficient he is. Sometimes he likes to shoot the 3 ball. But he's so efficient down there. We'd love to see him post up every time, do what he does best.
I'm going to say some names here, and I know people are either going to go in uproar or kill me, but your game, when I think about your game, I think Magic, I think Bron attacking the basket, I think Len Bias, I think Pippen. And what I mean by that is your size, your body type, the way you play. If you had to critique yourself and say next year and the year after I'm coming back better in these areas, being a point guard, what would you say that your next jump is going to be, or something that you're working on just to continue the way that you're going on this upward trend of playing? What do you work on to improve over the summer?
I think just knocking down shots and being a consistent shooter in terms of just shooting the ball when I am open and taking more shots. And I think just getting comfortable in certain areas on the floor.
Tonight was one of those games where Jimmy was playing against his old team and all kinds of stuff happened when he left there.
Yeah.
Was there any talk in the locker room about, man, let's go get this one? Or did you guys, as a group, say anything to each other?
We know we needed this game. And I think everybody was kind of locked in mentally. I saw Jimmy before the game. He was definitely locked in. But I think, we always have the same mindset no matter who we play. We got to come out and get wins.
We're going to let you go, B. Simmons, but we usually see you warming up with your headphones on, man. Who are you listening to today?
It depends who's there. I like Gunna.
Okay.
He's nice. Oh, little baby, yep.
All right, that's what's up, man. Hey, thank you so much for joining this great game tonight. And we're a big fan of yours. Always enjoy watching you play. That's the man, Ben Simmons.
Tell Joel, more paint. Tell McHale.
Gotcha. I'm going to tell him right now. Hold on. I'm telling him.
That's right. That's the man, Ben Simmons. And he's going back to
the official card of the NBA.
Welcome back to Players Only. 83 points for Philadelphia. They are getting money out there, just toying, playing around with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Chris Webber, Kevin McHale here. Kevin, we were excited about this game coming in because we knew all the history between both teams. The fact that Butler basically, let's just be honest, went in and punked the Minnesota team. The fact that Wiggins has been playing better since he's gone. The fact that Cat Towns has been playing better since he's gone. The fact that we want to see Wiggins step up and be that number 2 alpha on that team. And for me personally, to fans out there, I would always try to think of something to be pissed about before I played the game. Okay. And before this game, no more needed than to say, I'm playing for my boy Towns, Kevin Mack, whoever, we got your back today, or I'm about to show you what we're going to do. And so when you have games like this, I don't necessarily think to the leadership, but it speaks a little bit to the attitude of the team in the locker room, coming out, getting beat like this with the body language being kind of a defeatist attitude, it looks like.
Philly's run on them, got in the paint. They've got everything they wanted. They're attacking the glass. They're getting out in transition, getting easy baskets, getting threes. They're just toying with them right now. And we talked about it at the top of the show. I really thought that the Towns Embiid matchup would decide who wins this game. Right now, it's all Embiid. Towns, played okay, but this guy right here, I like the way he doesn't settle. He gets in there. Look at that nice little patient footwork, jump. That's a monster shot. And again, he's not going to settle because, Chris, we've seen him shoot this shot a lot of times, and we've all both said, put the ball on the floor. He gets it on the floor, goes in there and gets a little offensive tip on his own shot. And again, they're good defense by Philly. They're pushing it up. The big guy showing his versatility. But this is what I like. Redick comes off. He draws 2 really quick. Could have taken that shot. What does he see? He sees the big guy and gives him that little throwdown for a dunk. And, that's what, because Redick is a deadly shooter. And when a shooter rises up and makes that pass to you, that just gives you that good vibe like, man, we're in this thing together. Yeah. And Philly's feeling it right now. If they play like this, Chris, inside out, playing through that big guy, I like this team when they play like this.
I like this team too. So let me ask you this then. Why is Butler complaining? They're the 4th best record in the East. Why would he be complaining? This is just that I bring my personality where I am, because we all know he's a hell of a player. I don't think he's as good as the respect he's getting to be able to talk this much in the locker room.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. You're not that good to come over here and talk before Katz and Wiggins or before Embiid, and by the way, Simmons. I don't understand that. But is it going to travel? Like you know how kind of right now with your Celtics, and I mean that because you played there, with your Celtics, how we kind of see little hints. We need to start at the top to the bottom. You hear that and you start going, wait a minute, you guys like Washington? Everybody eats, meaning that we need it to pass the ball around. When I see good teams trying to win a championship and that one rogue player, when I played, we would have taken them into the locker room. But you also wonder, wait a minute, is your biggest goal to win a championship or to look good and come here and be the man? I mean, did you have that feeling when you played? How did you guys stop that in the locker room or with your coach?
Hey, Jimmy Butler should just call up some of those old Lakers that played with Magic and Kareem. You know, James Worthy.
Okay.
Perfect example.
Hall
James
of Fame.
Worthy, Hall of Fame.
Right.
Hall of Fame James Worthy.
That's
Okay?
right.
You don't think James Worthy had, I know James Worthy had a half where he had 4 points, but Kareem had 17, Magic had 15,
Right.
and they were up 12, and they were 15. He was in the locker room saying, hey, great job, fellas, way to go. He was going to get his eventually, but there's some nights that the guys play really well, and that's what Jimmy's got to embrace. Jimmy's got to walk in right now and say, man, let's feed Embiid. Feed the beast. He's killing it. And Simmons has got it rolling, driving, playing, making passes, and take a back seat. On the Celtic teams I played on, there were a lot of nights where the best player on that floor wasn't, they always say, myself, McHale, Bird, Parrish.
Yeah.
Hell, it was Dennis Johnson. Some nights it was Danny Ainge. And we enjoyed that, man.
Right,
those guys would be getting off, and we'd be like,
Yeah.
we're killing them,
Yeah.
And you can go out and have a very pedestrian 14, 15 points, but you won by 20.
Yeah.
And he's got to embrace everybody else's success. I don't believe you can truly win a championship, Chris, if you can't embrace other people's success. Like, if we're playing together, I got to really enjoy you getting off.
Yeah.
I got to enjoy you whipping some guy.
Exactly.
I got to be heading the cheerleading thing saying, you can't guard Webber.
That's
Who are
right.
you putting
That's
on Chris Webber?
Yeah.
And enjoy that, man.
Yeah.
And that's what builds it up. And right now, Jimmy doesn't have that. Jimmy's got a little bit of me and not enough we.
Yeah, and we know he can be that we guy. We've seen him do it in other places.
Yes.
We want to know, is he going to bring that there? That reminds me, when you talk about those good teams like your Celtics, how about the other night? Kevin Durant, he's hot, he's scoring, and he gives it back to Curry. Curry throws it back to him. He's like, no, this is your game. Curry hits the big three. But that's what you talk about. Enjoy seeing your teammates winning. And that play between Redick and Embiid, I think that's indicative of that type of play. Let's play with them this play, get a dunk, and I'll shoot it the next time. But that's just our opinion on Players Only. And let's see what Albert E. Russell has to say. The network barber deserves a medal. He keeps you crispy. You're right. That's my man, Marcus Graham. Marcus Harvey. I'm sorry. My brother's Marcus Graham. That's another thing. Marcus Harvey. My bad, Marcus. He's the man. Appreciate you, Albert. This is Players Only, though. We'll be right back.
All right. Welcome to Players Only again. We got the Sixers and the Wolves tonight. Got my man Brendan Haywood in studio with us.
Happy to be here with a legend.
And we definitely gonna have a good one tonight. You got the Sixers and you got the Wolves. And before we start yakking it up, let's go to my man 3D, who's out talking to Sarich. Let me see what you got out there, 3D.
All right, guys, here with Dario. Dario, you was here, drafted by Philadelphia. Any funny feelings to come back for the first time to play against a team that drafted you?
Yeah, it's like really different, it's a little bit weird, but like, I saw the guys, I saw the coaches, I got a really good time with them, and end of the day, this is just business, and you need to move on.
And strictly just business, how do you come in here and get a win tonight knowing you got to slow down some of those guys you started with?
Yeah, it'll be a little bit hard, but, I got some experience, from the practice, so some things I try to talk to the coaches, what they like, how the summer guys like to play. And, we need to be tough, we know their first team, scoring in the first quarter, like a 30-some points, and we know, if they start good, we can come back in the game, and it just need to be ready, play 100%, and I think we can beat them.
Appreciate you.
I appreciate you too.
All right.
So Brendan, when you talk about the emotions of the game, what a Sarge might be going through, what a Wiggins may be going through, when you went back and you got traded a couple of times, how did you always feel going back to those teams that you got traded from to play against them?
A lot of times it depends on how I was traded. Was there animosity? Do I like the guys that I was playing with? what was the back and forth. But in your head, leading up to those games, especially games that you're really charged up for, you have a certain way that you play it out, how you want it to go. And what you don't want to do is come out too hype, or you don't want to come out too flat. So you want to come out there and still be as close to normal as possible. But a lot of times, you know, I had these dreams of grandeur where I would have these big games, and it didn't always go like that. But at the same time, I was always charged up, especially to play against teams that traded me, because I felt like I had something to prove.
Well, this will be a game that appears to be filled with a little animosity.
Oh, yeah, a little?
Yeah.
No, this game is filled with much animosity.
Yeah, and so, you know, 3D, let's go out to you, and can you, you know, pontificate on some of the animosity you may be feeling in the building, or some that may be going on with the players that you've learned?
Well, guys, one thing about this team here, they're trying to figure out how can they get their big players to play together. So I think that's the biggest thing the Sixers are trying to fix right now as we get ready for the national anthem.
We got lineups and tips coming up as we're watching Carl Anthony warm up. He's getting ready. Players only, baby.
Purple rain, I see.